guys, Johnny here. I'm doing a video for a friend and a subscriber on which percussion revolver I would use for a desk gun if I went that route, and how I would load it. The type of percussion revolver I'd use is this, an 1858 Remington. Colts are nice, but they have an inherited problem. When you cap it, and you cock the hammer back, and you fire it, a Colt has what they call a cap sucking problem. It has a little indentation in the hammer, and what it does is pulls the cap out into the action, which jam the gun up unless you alter it. Remingtons, they're safe right out of the box. You don't have to worry about that. Plus they're big 44 caliber, well, or 45, depending on how you look at it. Now how I would load this thing, I didn't have no 454 round bolts, so I had to use my Ruger. After you can get your balls and stuff seated, well, first I'll go into what kind of ammunition I would use. Personally, I would use a combination of round ball and conical. I would start, my first shot would be round ball because it drops a lot of energy real quick. They're similar to modern day hollow points in the way that they perform. And my follow-up shot would be a conical, preferably like the Pietta. I don't know if you can see it here. I don't have any out, but they have a wide met plate, which gives you a lot of energy drop and penetration that you just don't get from round nose conicals. Anyway, after I got my cylinder loaded, I would take it off the gun. I would use a hard wax, like Pierre beeswax or this Cato wax that I'm using. It's pretty stiff. What this does is seals off your cylinder, not only from like I can't think of the name of it right now, it'll come back to me, but it keeps the moisture out from this end. And then what you do is flip it over after you've capped it. Take you some fingernail polish, preferably clear, but any type of fingernail polish will work. Liquid bandage works. And what you do is you go right in there and you coat your caps with it. You want your cylinder pointed this way, chamber mouths down, because if you go the other way, you're just going to contaminate your primer, your cap, with what you're coating it with. And you try your best to get in behind there too, like this, and just swirl it around. And after you've done all of them, what you do is you just let it set a few minutes so it'll dry. And what that does is effectively seals out the moisture and stuff from this end. At this point, it can sit in your desk for years, probably indefinitely, because black powder, as long as it doesn't get contaminated with moisture, it'll last forever. So that's how I would load it. You can use it as a carry gun or whatever. At this point, it's, you can walk around in the rain. It won't bother it. Now what I showed you how to do it on the gun, I actually prefer is my desk gun. But I don't have no 454 round balls. So I've done it on my Ruger to show you. You want good fitting caps too. Don't forget the caps, because that's your major component. Like on my Remington and my Ruger, Remington Number 10s. Never use CCI on these. I found that out. You know, get misfires every time, no matter what you do. Anyway, this is my Percussion Revolver for a desktop. Now, one last note, if you're able to afford it and you live in a country that you can own it, get you a center fire like this 357. It works really good, and you don't have to worry about the inherent problems of a percussion revolver. But if you can't, or for whatever reason you can't afford a gun, a center fire revolver, then this is the best way to load it. And one last thing, a little history note. The old people back in the cowboy era, Civil War era, they done this too, except they would cover their caps with melted beeswax. Anyway, this is Joni. I hope you enjoyed this video. Over and out.